Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Casey Kenny to defeat Sung Yadong. And I'm here to talk about Nathaniel Wood versus Andre Fili. Fili is 33 years old, 22-9, and he's got 5 inches of height and 5 inches of reach over 29-year-old Nathaniel Wood, who has a record of 19-5. Nathaniel Wood is moving up in weight. I think I should stop saying that. He has moved up in weight. This is his third fight at featherweight. In fact, I promise it's the last time I'm going to say that. Although, don't hold me to that. My promises mean shit. But Nathaniel Wood, he is a featherweight here, and he's dealt with 2 good featherweights very well. He dealt with Charles Jourdain, who's a solid featherweight, very well, and Charles Rosa as well, even though he's a little more limited and now out of the UFC. But the point is, Nathaniel Wood looks really good at featherweight, about as good as he looked at bantamweight. And he was, I always thought, a very underrated bantamweight. Even though he was still respected, I just thought he had a very high ceiling. His 2 losses in the UFC come to John Dodson and Casey Kenny, the aforementioned Casey Kenny. The only reason I brought him up at the beginning of the video is because I was thinking about him after watching their fight. But Casey Kenny outpointed him, and John Dodson is the only guy to legitimately knock him out. That was in the 3rd round of a close enough fight, and Dodson hits like a fucking tank. You have to forgive him. The other one, I think, he's got another TKO loss. It's a doctor stoppage or something earlier in his career, and he's also got 2 submission losses earlier in his career. At this point, we're probably approaching 10 years or so, 9-10 years since those losses. So again, a little forgiveness there. The Nathaniel Wood we see in front of us, he's entering his prime, and he looked incredible at bantamweight and now at featherweight, 2-0, and he's favored to beat Andre Fili, who is a very respected featherweight himself, and he's been in there in the UFC featherweight division for 8 years, I think, at this point. I think 8 years, maybe even longer. Andre Fili, he's got 22 wins, 9 via TKO, 3 via submission, 10 via decision, and his 9 losses come 3 via TKO, 2 via submission, and 4 via decision, almost all of which are in the UFC. I'm a little worried about his chin, I'm not going to lie. He's coming off, well, not coming off, but he was knocked out last year to Joe Anderson Brito. Joe Anderson Brito cracked him with a big right hand and put him down and pounded him out. And that was eye-opening. Joe Anderson Brito, though, is a first-round monster, fucking athletic beast, hits like a truck, and shit like that's bound to happen, I feel like, if you fight enough dangerous guys. But that, combined with his Yair Rodriguez loss, which was a flying switch kick or some shit, some wild Yair shit, I think a flying switch kick. But despite those being his only 2 knockout losses in the UFC, the fact that he's got so much mileage and heavy mileage is what gives me concern. It's not his age. He's 33 years old. I'd say he's smack dab in the middle of his prime. But I feel like things could take a turn. Either way, I don't think this is the fight in which things will take a turn. Nathaniel Wood, a naturally smaller guy, and even though he's a great striker, really great striker, he's never been Mr. Power Punch. I don't think he's Joe Anderson Brito, certainly. Fili, he has been submitted twice, and those were in the UFC, but they were, again, a while ago because he's been in the UFC for so long. Godofredo Pepe, an excellent jiu-jitsu guy back in his day, tapped him out with a triangle choke, and Max Holloway got him with a guillotine. I almost said Max Griffin. And certainly that's a forgivable loss. But look, this fight, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close. Right away, I can tell you I saw value as soon as I saw the odds on Andre Fili, plus 160. I pounced on it. I do think there's value on him to win this fight. I think it's going to be really close. Nathaniel Wood is a guy who's got killer calf kicks, which could often dictate the range battle. But I think Andre Fili is a diverse striker, very comfortable, diverse striker, throws from every which angle. And I think he can make use of his 5 inches of height and 5 inches of reach, whereas a lot of other fighters couldn't. And I think that jousting battle could prove to be fruitful for him in this fight. Sounding really gay here. But Andre Fili, I also think he He's not the best wrestler and overall grappler. Offensively, he mixes shit up very well, but defensively, he's been smothered a few times. You know, Bryce Mitchell, Sadiq Youssef even won with the grappling. Not to mention a few times he was submitted, Fili, inside the octagon. But he's definitely, I think, a more difficult guy to out-wrestle than Charles Jourdain. I don't think Nathaniel Wood's going to be sweeping him off his feet a dozen times either. I think Andre Fili is going to prove to be his most difficult test at featherweight. And you know what? I'm picking him. Fuck it. Andre Fili. I mean, I bet on him anyway. But even though I think it's a very close fight, it could go either way. Yeah, gun to my head, I'll go with Andre Fili, outpointing Nathaniel Wood, proving to be a very difficult test at featherweight and getting it done. That's the pick. That's the bet. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. Check out my other videos.